Abraham Sutzkever was a renowned Yiddish poet whose lyrical work was at the heart of Jewish cultural life in pre-war Vilnius. Through his poetry, he'd kept a daily chronicle of the destruction of his community. He'd hoped to give his testimony in Yiddish, but the court was unable to provide a translator. Reluctantly, Abraham spoke in Russian, insisting on standing throughout. We're honored that his words are voiced today by his granddaughter, Hadas Kalderon.
Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Tairi Chaverim. I'm very honored to be here with you and to be the voice today of my grandfather, who was the voice of so many people, so many stories, and so many souls for so many years, because he lived until the age of 97. He died 16 years ago. And I had a very long time, my grandfather, so our relationship was very close. And he told me so many stories, and I keep those stories with me. My grandfather was a poet who believed that as long as he would write, he would live. With my poetry and with my Yiddish, even inside the ghetto walls, I'm a free man. And not just in his belief, in reality, his book of poems was smuggled through the Soviet partisans and reached to the Soviet side. And there, the government decides to send an airplane in 1944 to the forest to land on an ice lake to rescue my grandfather and my grandmother. And this is how, it's not a Hollywood story, it's my grandfather's story. And this is how they were rescued and brought to the Soviet side. And there he was chosen to be. Oh, that's nice. He was chosen to be the only witness from the Soviet side and the first Jewish witness in the trials. I heard so many stories. Most of the stories he told me, but the only story that I've found out in his diary that he didn't tell me is that the one that I'm going to tell you today from his testimony. I was hiding outside of the ghetto when I learned that my wife had given birth to our son. I returned and made my way to the hospital, but the place was surrounded by Germans, dragging sick and old people into trucks like logs. When they left, I went to the hospital and found my wife in tears, Savta Frida, my grandmother Frida. Orders had been given that Jewish women must not give birth. And so our baby was hidden in a room with other newborn children. But the Germans heard their cries and broke open the door. My wife immediately got up and ran to see a German smearing something under our baby's nose. Then he threw it on a bed and laughed. When I arrived, he was still warm.
The line I have in the script before me says that Sutzkever's calm but unflinching delivery held the tribunal spellbound, but Hearing the words recited by his granddaughter, I think, is keeping us all spellbound.
The following day, I went to where my mother was staying, but her room was empty. A prayer book, it was Yom Kippur, a prayer book lay open on the table beside her glass of tea, not yet touched. I learned that in the night the Germans had surrounded the house, seized all the inhabitants, and driven them off to be shot in the forest in Ponar. Later, in the last day of December 1941, the Germans mocked us with a gift, a small gift. A truckload of shoes belonging to Jews who had been executed in the forest. I recognized my mother's among them. And later on, he wrote a poem that is called Wagon of Shoes, that he describes that in those shoes he sees his mother's shoes. Very Israeli פה יגיד חגיגי. What is חגיגי? Celebratory. Yes, because of Yom Kippur. Inside those old shoes. Thank you very much.